I like to say that there's four major stressors of life that if we don't figure out how to manage well, kind of things kind of go in the negative, not so hot direction. And these kind of four kind of areas, right, of stress are this: relationships, money, health, and health can be physical health or mental health, and work, right? And so, I mean, sometimes I joke the first two, relationships and money, like I joke and I'm like sex and money, right? Like this is where we succeed and fail because, well, relationships is the broad category. Really, our intimate partner relationships are the ones that tend to really define our success. And so here's the question: if I'm having trouble in those areas, if I'm having stress in those areas, relationship stress, money stress, work stress, health stress, right? What does that say about me as an individual? And here's the answer: nothing, right? Like, or, to quote Monty Python, right? I'm not dead yet, right? It's just life, right? We all have stresses in those areas. And so that's not really the question. The question is, do I have the skills and the resources and the support network to handle those things constructively, right? Because if I don't, certainly things will go in that not so hot direction. But if I do, that same list of things that if we don't handle them well, go to the negative end of the spectrum. If we do handle them well, go to the positive end of the spectrum. When my relationships are awesome, when I'm out of debt and I've got an emergency fund in case, rainy day fund, and my savings is growing, my health is vital, I can fully engage in the stuff of life. That same list, right? That same list that if we get wrong, stuff goes wrong. If we get it right, it goes right. And I think it's really fascinating because sometimes we don't go get help because we think, well, it would indicate some weakness on our part or some kind of thing. But I really like what they do in the military, right? When you gain, like in the Air Force that I work with every day, right? If you get promoted, if you get, you get a new level of responsibility or you change jobs, the first thing that they have you do is train, right? You get upgrade training. And because they want to make sure that you've got the skills and the resources and the support network to succeed in that situation. And I think, like, why wouldn't we in our own lives, when we face a new challenge, say, this could be pretty tough. I'm not sure that I've got the skills and the resources and the support network that I'm going to need to handle this well. Why don't I get some upgrade training for myself? And I think that there's a whole lot of wisdom there. And don't think about it like, well, I'm a failure, so I need help. No, think about it like, I want to knock this out of the park. I want to be on the positive end of the spectrum on this thing, because that, those stressors are, another way to frame that is, these are the arenas of life where we can compete for our success. And if I want to win, right, I've got to train. And any professional, right? Like they don't rely on just on themselves, right? They go and they get the help that they need to develop the skills that they need and the habits that they need to get it right every day. And so here's my encouragement to you, right? Do a little inventory for yourself in those different arenas and say, hey, are my relationships where I want them to be? Are they kind of over on the negative end of the spectrum? Are my finances like super scary, or is that getting me where I want to go? And do a little self-evaluation. And if those things are further on that negative end of the spectrum than you want them to be, figure out, take some time. If you hadn't seen the entropy video, you can take a look at that. I'll try to put the link up here. But if you haven't defined what order looks like for you, try to figure that out so that you can push in that positive direction. Because having stress in those arenas of life, that's just life. That's normal. But how we deal with that largely will determine our success. Until next time, make it a great day.